shows and every other day, and that was my life at high school. That is what I remember to this day. We were always welcome there. We went through so many life's lessons, and we were talking down at the other end of the table how we were all so innocent. We stayed out all night, and we didn't get home till 4 o'clock in the morning, and my mother would say, as long as you're with Dave and Paul, it's okay. We were just, we had a respect for each other.
What was I thinking?
Little did they know. Wow. But it was those innocent times and those times growing up, and both of you instilled a great deal of confidence and all kinds of life lessons for us. And I still remember, crying and thinking our road was over when high school ended and when the shows were over. It was just such a huge letdown, and I think it's a real tribute to a lot of us that we've still stayed in touch. I mean, that's how deep our friendships have gone, and I think it has a lot to do with what you two have taught us and what you've meant to us over these years. So I will always be grateful for knowing both of you and continue to think about you often, and certainly wish you both everything good in your lives. Wonderful to see you. So.
Cindy.
Wait a minute, I lost a shoe.
No, not Cinderella.
I lost two, so I just wanted to look like that.
I know you're the
Well, oh gosh. I guess Donna, you said everything. That's high school. That's the memories. I think we all, I don't know, we just had such a family. I think we were family. And from being just young sophomores until our college years when we were doing summer musicals, we were a family. I think we treated each other with respect. I know the auditioning part and whose name was on the list for leads and that kind of thing, but I think we all still got along. We never were angry if one person got a part over us, but we loved each other. We loved each other, and I think both of your directions helped us to be that way. I think you guided us through all that, and there was, and that's I give that all that that you're both responsible for that, and we just all have just wonderful memories. And if anybody asks me, what did you do in high school? How were your high school years? That's all I talk about. I feel bad for people who didn't experience what we did. We were very, very blessed, and we are very blessed to have both of you. So thank you so much.
The reason Marilyn's here is because I told Greg Easterbrook, who couldn't be with us tonight, I said, I can't find her. I've done searching, I've done Google, I've done Facebook, I can't find her. And he said, I will find her, and he did. So.
And he did. I was so happy that he found me. I was actually looking for you guys. I was looking for my 40th reunion, and I went online and I couldn't find anything, and I even called Kenmore West and I couldn't find anything. And when I had the secretary on the line, I said, well, can you tell me how Mr. Starr or Mr. Swick are? At least, that much? And she said, yeah, she didn't know. All right. So, I just kind of hung up and gave up. And then all of a sudden I heard from Greg Easterbrook, and it was like, oh my gosh, they found me. I couldn't believe it. You guys, you have no idea how much I think about you. I work in a high school now, and I've seen so many high school shows that don't even compare to what we used to produce. I'm not even kidding you. But they all make me remember you. And I remember Mr. Swick once at competition. We went to competition, and they took my song off of the list. And you came and you got me out of my typing class, and you taught me another song that I could go and sing like the day before, and I got an A+ at competition. It was all because of Mr. Swick.
Because of your voice.
You know, and it wasn't just the musicals during the year, it was the summer too. You guys devoted your whole summer to us. And it wasn't like, we did everything together in those summer days. We played all day. We went to Beaver Island, and we had picnics, and we danced on the boardwalk, and we sang everywhere we went. And it was so fun. And then we went to rehearsal, and we did our little yoga exercises. And remember that? And warm-ups and Dick Castleman made us do. Oh, it was so fun. But it was our whole life. And without you guys leading us, we would never have those memories. We wouldn't. You mean everything to us. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you.
I have a story real quick to tell about Marilyn. When we were doing South Pacific, I had one line in the show, and it had 2 words in it, and it was "Hi Nellie." And I had to walk across the stage, and I had to say "Hi Nellie" to you. And I walked across the stage, and when I got to the other end, I realized that the name that came out was not Nellie. So I missed 50% of my lines in 2 words, you know. And I told you, I said, "Did you notice that?" And Jerry said, "No, I didn't even notice it." I thought, "Phew, I'm free. That's good." Thanks.
Hey, and by the way, remember that move, you know, that you taught Mike Green? Well, remember right in the middle of the show, you did that move and it ripped my dress. I thought it was going to fall right off me. I really have to go now. I have to go.
It was still an experience.
Dan.
I'm excited.
You tried that move on me, it ripped my dress too. Terribly. You know, there are very few places in our goings and comings that you feel secure and you feel no anxiety or pressure. And that was what the shows were for me. You went there and you were sort of enveloped in this family, like she said, and everybody had a great time. And I had a girlfriend in one show and a girlfriend in another show. You don't forget those things, you know.
They forget.
And
He was your girl.
that was when I was wearing the dresses. Jerry was my English teacher as well for a little while. And I remember him saying, "You don't go, when you're driving, you don't do this. You do this." And I think he made an analogy to life, that you don't make real huge changes back and forth. You kind of make incremental movements, incremental side-to-side, lateral moves, and that kind of keeps you steady. And another thing he said was, I don't shake my father's hand, or I don't shake my brother's hand, or whatever it is, except we hug. Now, in 1970, men didn't hug. There was no such thing. Baseball game, football, you know, but guys didn't hug. And I started hugging, and it was a very sort of a generational thing, and it became a very natural thing for me to hug my friends or hug my father. And it was a very nice, warm sort of an ushering into older adolescence and so forth.
You're tough to hug, you're so tall.
Well, here. And Ron Swick, who was sort of like the pillar. He was always on the right-hand side. Jerry was on the left, looking at the stage, and Ron was on the right. And I never saw Ron on the left. Okay, whether it was their political leanings or I don't know what it was, but he was always there. He was taller, obviously. He always wore like a dark something, and you always saw him there. And if you missed your note, if you missed your cue, you'd look at him for a second, be right on. It's like being that little guy in when Elmer Fudd was underneath, you know, and Bugs Bunny is whatever. So those memories are sort of they're still fresh, even though 56 years old. They're still wonderful and you know, never changes.
Pam Mortensen? Morgensen? Sorry, I missed
Morganson,
that.
you're after Morganson.
Morgensen, I'm sorry.
Added an R, that's okay. It used to be Dr. anyway.
Which has no R in it.
That does.
Becca.
We'll
Yeah,
take the
yeah.
other. Just strike it down there. Okay.
We did everything together anyway, so here we are.
Two girls from Kenmore East
It's okay.
auditioned separately in the summer, but that's what brought us together. And that's what we told Mr. Starr. We don't have our email in front of us where we wrote it, but
We were always in the chorus. I was always in the front. you
we're
were always
okay
in the
with
back.
that.
We're gonna be in the back for obvious reasons. But what we got out of your shows were the friendships that, how many years later, we don't even want to know, and the friendships that we have over here.
Alto's rule, Mayor.
That's right. They will go on forever, and that's what I remember more than the songs and the fun that we had. But hey, we're still here together, and that's awesome. And I thank you both for that. Yes.
It was too important to us. I don't know if you guys know this, but we had our kids
Yeah.
were with Mr. Starr. My daughter had got the last one in there, so she got to be with him for a summer, and we decided it was just too important to let go, so it's still going. There is a summer musical. This is our director, who was under the tutelage of their, we are now called Stage, which is a summer theater arts group experience. So there are kids the same ages that we were experiencing everything that you guys talked about. We're hearing and on Facebook now, which is a little bit different, how Stage is changing their lives the same way that you guys changed ours. So there's a legacy for it, and we'll keep going as long as we can. Thank you for that.
I know you came in very quickly, but would you like to come in, because I think you come up and share a little bit, because you've done a lot. I don't know how many shows and how many years you've been making sets for the shows.
Let's see, 1974, I was wandering through Kenmore West, I don't know why, and I poked my head backstage and I heard all this hammering and nailing, and I look back and I see this very long, tall, lanky guy shouting at something and doing something. And what's going on back here? And I saw Jean Glazer. She was up there on a ladder painting something or other.
You're very tall.
It's a very tall ladder. And that evening I was invited to come to the rehearsal. And 30 years later, I was still on a 15-foot rickety old ladder, doing the same thing I did in 1974. And I put in my little letter that I always knew around March or April, I'd be at work doing something or other, and my phone would ring, and I always knew. I was like a little like, hello, Peach, how you doing?